I don't trust a guy without a dark side.
Well, let's just say you haven't seen it yet.
When I learned that Chris Evans would be back in the MCU as Captain America, I was beyond excited. I put on my Captain America shirt, grabbed my replica of Cap's shield, and started waving the American flag outside of my house. But it all changed with a single tweet. Chris Evans tweeted out those 3 words, "news to me," which then put me in a depression of sorts. But is it possible that this is all a ruse by Mr. Evans? Could he just be pulling the ultimate troll job? Oh, I'm on to you, Captain America. You think you're being slick, but I know you're a Skrull. Yep, I think this is all a coordinated play between Marvel Studios and Chris Evans to set up a very unconventional return for Captain America, and it all starts with one of Marvel Studios' recently announced series. They recently announced that they will be making a Secret Invasion series on Disney+, which has probably brought hardcore comic books fans to tears. Tears of joy, of course. If you're unaware of what Secret Invasion is, it is one of the best arcs from the comics. Essentially, a bunch of villainous shape-shifting Skrulls took the form of superheroes and high-ranking officials in the government and S.H.I.E.L.D., creating a ton of distrust and confusion in the process. The catchphrase of the Secret Invasion storyline is "Who do you trust?" and for good reason. No one was able to trust anyone until Mr. Fantastic developed a device that could detect aliens. Only then was trust restored, and our heroes were finally able to defeat the Skrulls. The Disney Plus MCU series is expected to be heavily based on the source material, with Nick Fury and the Skrull Talos working together to stop the invasion of villainous Skrulls. You see, Talos is one of the good Skrulls, but it's not surprising to know that some Skrulls would use their shape-shifting abilities in dark ways. Of course, we expect to see plenty of superheroes in this series as well, with Captain America being a real possibility. I mean, just think about it. This series would be the perfect opportunity for Chris Evans to reprise his role as Captain America. He'd be able to play the character in a way we've never seen him before. Cap has always been a good guy, but what if he's actually a bad guy in Secret Invasion? What if he's a Skrull? That would open up a bunch of possibilities that we didn't have post-Endgame. At the end of Endgame, we saw Steve Rogers go back in time to relive his life with Peggy Carter, making him all old and gray in the current MCU timeline. Now, obviously, old Cap is in no shape to take the fight to the Skrulls, but what about young Cap? If a Skrull wants to parade around as Captain America, he'll most likely return as young Cap, the one we saw during the battle with Thanos. Now, I get that it'll be hard for the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. to accept that Captain America is now young again, but the MCU is a weird place. This Skrull posing as Captain America will probably come up with some kind of excuse to explain how he's young again. Maybe he'll talk about how the Fountain of Youth exists on some planet in a galaxy far, far away, or maybe he'll just say that he went back in time again. Whatever the case may be, it seems likely that the Avengers will trust Cap as he's never been a liar, despite what Tony Stark thinks. Another thing you might be asking is if Skrulls could copy superpowers, and the answer is a bit of a mixed bag. In the case of Captain America, a Skrull could copy all of his powers since they're all physical traits, such as super strength, stamina, and agility. A Skrull wouldn't be able to copy Captain Marvel's powers, for example, since hers are beyond just physical abilities. Only the Super Skrull in the comics are able to copy anyone's powers. That is why being a young Captain America makes perfect sense for a Skrull. The Skrull acting as Steve Rogers could very well be the leader of this villainous group of Skrulls, and his goal will be to tear the Avengers apart from the inside. Now just think about how awkward it'll be for Falcon to see a young Captain America again. This is a guy whose older self gave him his shield and passed on to him the mantle of Captain America, only to show up and take it right back. It would certainly lead to a lot of fighting and bickering within the Avengers, which is exactly what the Skrulls would want. So what about old Cap? If young Cap is a Skrull, then old Cap has to be out there somewhere, right? Finding him will probably be one of the main goals of Nick Fury and Talos once they learn that young Cap is actually a Skrull. The Skrulls are likely going to be holding old Cap as a prisoner and using the information he gives them to keep young Cap's true identity a secret. Nick Fury, Talos, and a group of trustworthy heroes like Captain Marvel could raid the Skrull outpost and free old Cap, setting up a fun ending. Now, like I said earlier, I don't expect old Cap to lead the fight against the Skrulls on Earth or anything like that, but he does have plenty of military experience. If there's anyone you want coming up with an action plan, it's Mr. Steve Rogers. He's an expert tactician and will use those skills to orchestrate this fight against the Skrulls. So who do you think is going to win the fight? The good guys, of course. It'll be an epic battle between the Avengers and the Skrulls, with Falcon leading the Avengers and officially becoming the next Captain America once everything is said and done. Honestly, I'm starting to get a bit paranoid now about all this secret invasion stuff. Maybe humans are all just a bunch of shapeshifting aliens. You might be a Skrull and not even know it. Could the editor of this video be a Skrull? Is the writer a Skrull? Heck, am I a Skrull? Ah!